Ryan, did you take my car again? I asked, tossing my keys on the table. He smirked without looking up from his phone. Relax, big brother. I just borrowed it for an hour. You weren't using it anyway. An hour? I sighed. The tank's empty, he shrugged. You make more money than me. You can afford gas. Emma looked up from the kitchen counter, half smiling. Don't start, you two. It's Sunday. Can we please not argue? I sat beside her, wrapping my arm around her shoulder. You always defend him. Because he's family, she said softly. You both are. I smiled at that. Yeah, we are, Ryan rolled his eyes. I swear, you two sound like parents sometimes. Maybe because I keep cleaning up your messes, I said, laughing. He leaned against the counter. Maybe because you like being the hero. Something about his tone stung, but I brushed it off. Ryan had always been like that. Sarcastic, restless, never satisfied. Emma reached for my hand. Don't mind him. You work too hard.
You deserve some peace, I squeezed her fingers.
I'm trying. My boss said if I close the Carter deal next week, I might finally get that promotion. Her eyes lit up. That's amazing, Ethan. You've earned it. Maybe then, Ryan said, sipping from my coffee mug, you'll have enough money to start that dream company you keep talking about. That's the plan, I said. A firm that treats people right. Not like where I'm working now, he smirked. Or maybe you just want to be the boss, I laughed. Can't blame a man for dreaming. Emma smiled, but there was a flicker of distance in her eyes I couldn't name. Just don't forget about us when you become rich. Forget you? I kissed her temple. You're the reason I'm doing all this. She leaned into me but didn't say anything. Ryan muttered, You two are nauseating, and left the room. As the door shut, Emma sighed. He's been moody lately. He's just figuring out life, I said. He'll find his way. She nodded but looked away. I hope so. I didn't know what that meant then. I thought love and family were enough to keep us together. I thought loyalty was something sacred. If I'd looked closer, I would have seen the cracks already forming. But that night, all I saw were the two people I trusted most, and the peace I didn't know I was about to lose. It was almost midnight when my phone buzzed. Ethan, my boss said, the meeting's canceled. Carter's flight got delayed. Go home and rest. Finally, I thought. A few extra hours with Emma. Rain hit my windshield as I drove. The house lights were on. Strange, since Emma usually slept early. I unlocked the door quietly, smiling at the thought of surprising her. Then I heard it. Laughter. Her laughter. I froze halfway up the stairs. Ryan, she whispered. Breathless. Someone might hear us. My heart stopped. Relax, his voice replied. He's working late, remember? The air left my lungs. My hand trembled on the railing. I wanted to be wrong. God, I wanted to be wrong. I pushed the bedroom door open. They turned, tangled in sheets that used to belong to me. For a second, no one spoke. Just silence and the sound of rain outside. Ethan, Emma whispered, face pale. Ryan stood, stammering. It's not what it looks like. Not what it looks like? My voice cracked. Then tell me what it is. He swallowed hard. We didn't mean for this to happen. I laughed, a sound that didn't feel human. You didn't mean to? You're in my house with my fiancé on my bed. Emma covered herself, shaking. Please, Ethan, listen. Listen? I snapped. To what, lies? Excuses? Tears rolled down her face. I was lonely. You were always busy. I stepped back, disbelief burning in my chest. So my hard work, my plans for us made you do this? Ryan muttered. You had everything. You never noticed how she looked at me? Don't, I said, pointing at him. Don't you dare blame this on me. He looked away. I didn't plan it. It just happened. I laughed again, bitter and broken. That's your defense? It just happened? You're my brother, Ryan, Emma sobbed. Please don't hate us. Hate you? I whispered. You've already taken everything worth loving. I couldn't stand there another second. I grabbed my jacket and stormed out. The rain hit hard, but it didn't matter. The world already felt drowned. I walked aimlessly, every step heavier than the last. How could you, Ryan? I muttered to myself. How could you, Emma? I ended up at a small park, soaked through, shaking from more than the cold. My phone buzzed. It was David. Ethan? Where are you, man? You sound off. I'm fine, I lied. He paused. No, you're not. Tell me what happened. I swallowed, staring at the streetlights through the rain. My brother and my fiancée, together. He cursed under his breath. Stay where you are. I'm coming, I didn't answer. I just stood there numb, watching the rain wash over everything. Somewhere deep inside, a part of me died that night, the part that still believed family and love were safe. Ethan, you can't stay locked in here forever, David said, banging on my apartment door. I didn't answer. My room smelled of stale coffee and silence. He kept knocking. It's been a week, man. Open up. I finally did. His eyes widened. You look like hell. Thanks, I muttered, rubbing my unshaven face. He stepped in, glancing at the empty bottles. You've got to stop doing this to yourself. What else is there to do? I asked. They're getting married next month. Everyone knows. He hesitated. Yeah, I saw the post. I'm sorry, I laughed bitterly. Sorry doesn't fix betrayal. You can't let them win, he said. You've got to move forward. Move forward? I barked. How? I lost my job, my fiancé, my brother, everything that mattered. He sat on the couch beside me. You still have yourself. I don't even know who that is anymore. Silence filled the room. Only the rain outside answered us. After a while, he said quietly, You remember Mr. Hale? The guy from that business seminar? Yeah, he's looking for an assistant. Someone sharp, someone who can learn, I scoffed. You think I can just walk into someone's office and pretend I'm fine? No, he said, but maybe you can start over. I looked at him, tired and hollow. Why do you even care? He shrugged. Because I've seen what happens when people stop fighting. I'm not letting you be one of them. I wanted to argue, but I didn't have the strength. He pulled out his phone. I'll call him. You can meet tomorrow. Tomorrow? He nodded. Shower. Eat something. Look human again. For the first time in weeks, I almost smiled. You sound like my mother. Good, he said, grinning. She was smarter than you. The next morning, I stood outside a glass building, heart pounding. Mr. Hale's name was on the sign. Inside, everything gleamed. Orderly, confident, the opposite of me. He looked up from his desk when I entered. You must be Ethan. Yes, sir, I said quietly. David spoke highly of you, he said. Told me you've been through a storm. That's one way to put it. He studied me. Good. Storms build strong sailors. Can you learn fast? I can try. Don't try, he said firmly. Do. Something in his tone made me straighten. For the first time since the betrayal, I felt something other than pain, a flicker of purpose. 3 years, Mr. Hale said, leaning back in his chair. You've changed, Ethan, I smiled faintly. I had to. The old me wouldn't have survived, he chuckled. That's what I like about you. You listen, then you act. Most people only talk. I learned from the best, I said, handing him a folder. Quarterly projections. We're ready to expand. He flipped through the papers, nodding. You've built something solid. Hale Dynamics wouldn't exist without your drive. I looked out the window. You gave me a chance when no one else would. I just didn't want to waste it. He closed the folder gently. You didn't waste it. You created it. That day, his words hit deeper than praise. For years, I'd drowned myself in work. Numbers, deadlines, deals, until the pain dulled. Success became my distraction, my shield. Later that afternoon, I met our new HR director. A woman in her late 20s extended her hand. Sophia Grant, it's an honor, sir. Ethan, I said, shaking her hand. Please, no, sir, makes me feel ancient. She smiled. Noted. Mr. Hale said you built this company from nothing. Is that true? I shrugged. More like from failure, her eyes softened. Sometimes failure teaches more than victory. I laughed quietly. You sound like him already. Then I'm in good company. Sophia was sharp, confident, but kind in a way that reminded me people could be decent without pretending. Over time, she became the person I trusted most inside the office. One evening, we stayed late reviewing files. She asked, You never talk about your past. Why? Because it used to define me, I said. Now it just motivates me. She studied me. Someone hurt you. I didn't look up. Everyone gets hurt. Some people just decide to build something from it. She nodded slowly. And you built an empire, I smiled faintly. Not yet. But we're close. The next week, Mr. Hale called me into his office. His tone was softer than usual. I'm retiring, Ethan. I froze. Retiring? You can't. This company, Pakon, is yours now, he interrupted. I've seen enough to know you'll lead it better than I ever could. I tried to speak, but nothing came out. He placed a hand on my shoulder. Don't argue. You earned this. For a long moment, I said nothing. The boy who once stood in the rain, betrayed and broken, was gone. When I finally found my voice, it was steady. I won't let you down, he smiled. I know you won't. As I watched him leave that day, something in me shifted. The pain of the past didn't vanish, but it no longer ruled me. I didn't know it yet, but fate had just set the stage for a full circle I never expected. Morning, Ethan, Sophia said, sliding a folder across my desk. Last batch of applicants for the marketing department. I nodded absently, flipping it open. The first few names didn't stand out until I froze. My chest tightened. Ryan Brooks. Emma Carter. I stared at the names, certain my eyes were lying. Sophia tilted her head. You okay? You look like you've seen a ghost. I forced a breath. Something like that. She leaned forward. You know them? My throat felt dry. Yeah, once upon a time. Her curiosity sharpened. Old friends? Old wounds, I murmured. I scanned the resumes again. Ryan's company, R&E Ventures, bankrupt. Emma listed as former co-founder. Same city, same failure. I felt something between satisfaction and sorrow. Sophia frowned. They used to run their own firm, right? What happened? Reckless leadership, I said. Too much pride, not enough patience, she shrugged. Well, they're applying here now. Small world, cruel world, I muttered. Sophia smiled faintly. Should we call them in for interviews? The question lingered. Every part of me screamed to ignore the names, delete them, move on. But another voice, colder, quieter, whispered otherwise. Yes, I said finally. She blinked. Yes, I met her eyes. Schedule them both. Same day, back to back. Her brow furrowed. You sure? You look conflicted. I leaned back in my chair. I just want to see how far they've fallen. She hesitated, then nodded. You got it, boss. As she left, I stared at the folder again. My reflection glimmered faintly off the glossy paper, the man I'd become staring down at the ghosts who once ruined me. The irony was suffocating. Years ago, I would have given anything for their approval. Now they were asking for mine. Later that evening, Sophia knocked on my office door. Interviews confirmed for Thursday. You'll lead? I'll lead, I said quietly. She smiled. You sound almost nervous. Just curious, I replied. About how people change when they lose everything. She crossed her arms. And you? Did you change when you lost everything? I looked at her for a long moment. I didn't lose everything, Sophia. I just lost my illusions. She studied me, thoughtful but silent. When she left, I closed the door and whispered into the dim office light. Let's see, Ryan, let's see, Emma. How does it feel when fate finally turns its hand? The words tasted like victory, but somewhere underneath there was still a hollow ache that success couldn't quite fill. I'm surprised to see you, I said, standing as they walked in. Emma's hand flew to her mouth. Ethan? Ryan's face went white, and Sophia cleared her throat. Welcome. Please sit. I gestured to the chairs. Take a seat. Make yourselves comfortable. They sat like guilty teenagers waiting for a lecture. Emma's voice trembled. We didn't know who runs this company. I smiled, calm. I do. I'm the CEO. Ryan laughed nervously. No way, you? Yes. I placed a folder on the table. Let's begin with basic questions. Tell me why you left R&E, Emma swallowed. We closed because of funding issues. Ryan jumped in. Market shifted. We made bad bets. I nodded slowly. Bad bets are your words. Decisions have consequences. How did you handle cash flow? Ryan stopped, unsure. We tried to cut costs. We sought investors. You sought bets, I said. Did you consult your board? He hesitated. Not enough, Emma's eyes filled. We were young. We made mistakes. Sophia leaned forward. What would you do differently here? Ryan looked at Emma, then at me. I'd listen more. I'd be humble. Emma added. I'd focus on clients, not praise. I watched them struggle. You understand company culture? Emma's jaw tightened. Yes, we do. Then tell me a weakness, I said. Ryan swallowed. Pride. Pride? I repeated. How did pride help you when the firm collapsed? He looked down. It didn't. Silence fell heavy. I studied their faces, tired, scared, small. My chest ached, but I kept my voice steady. We value honesty here. If hired, you'll be under scrutiny. You'll report to Sophia for the first 3 months. Sophia nodded. I'll oversee onboarding. Emma managed a small smile. We appreciate the chance. I leaned back. A chance is not forgiveness. It's a responsibility. Ryan's voice broke. Ethan, Save it for performance reviews, I said softly. She reached out. Please, Ethan, just let us work. I studied her hand, then left it. People deserve second chances when they earn them. Sophia looked stunned. You're hiring them? I met her gaze. Yes, she closed her mouth. I didn't expect that. Sophia lingered, then asked, why? Why give them a chance after everything? I looked at her, honest and quiet. Because watching them break won't fix anything inside me. She frowned. So this isn't revenge? It's not simple, I said. I want truth to rule, not my pleasure in their pain. She said slowly, you make complicated moves. Maybe, I admitted. Maybe I want to see if they can learn what I learned. She studied my face. And if they lie? I smiled thinly. Then consequences follow. We don't pretend mercy. She nodded, still uneasy. Okay, onboarding Monday. I'll set expectations. They left. I closed my laptop. Sophia paused. You sure you're ready for this? I am, I said. More than ever, she smiled sadly. Then let's hope they are too. We will see, I said. I watched the elevator close and whispered, this is only the first move. Good morning, sir, Ryan said, his voice clipped, almost formal. I looked up from my laptop. Morning, Ryan. Emma stood beside him, eyes low. The presentation's ready, sir. That word again. Sir. It hit like a bruise pressed too often. Let's begin, I said quietly. The conference room fell into that tense stillness I'd grown used to. Sophia set up the projector while the team settled in. Ryan stood near the board, fumbling with his notes. Slide 1, I said. He clicked. Our client base has grown by 8% this quarter. 8? I asked, leaning back. You sure that's accurate? He glanced at Emma. It's a projection, sir. Then say projection, I said evenly. We deal in precision here. Ryan nodded quickly. Right, my mistake. Emma spoke next, her tone soft. The marketing strategy aligns with our sustainability goals. Her voice trembled halfway through. I noticed her grip on the remote tighten. You may continue, I said. She hesitated, then swallowed. We plan to integrate community, her voice cracked. Silence filled the room. Everyone looked anywhere but at her. Sophia stepped in gently. Emma, take a breath. You're fine. Emma forced a smile, blinking hard. Sorry, sir, that word again. I hated how much it hurt. When the meeting ended, Sophia lingered after everyone left. You okay? I'm fine. No, you're not, she folded her arms. You barely looked at them. You barely look at anyone lately. I'm focused, I said. Focused? She repeated. You call this focus? You're frozen, Ethan. You've built walls higher than this building. I exhaled slowly.
What do you want me to say, Sophia?
They call me sir now. After everything. Isn't that justice? She studied me for a long moment. Does it feel like justice? I didn't answer. She softened her tone. You wanted them to hurt. I get that. But watching them crumble, that's not power. That's poison. I turned to the window, rain streaking down the glass. I thought revenge would fix it. Make the nights quiet again. And? It doesn't, I admitted. Every time Ryan avoids my eyes, every time Emma shakes in front of me, I just feel empty. Sophia stepped closer. You rebuilt your life, Ethan. Don't burn it to keep an old wound warm. I almost smiled. You always have a quote ready. Then here's another, she said softly. Winning doesn't always mean destroying. Her words lingered long after she left. When I finally walked to my office door, I saw Ryan outside, waiting nervously. Sir, he said. Do you have a moment? I nodded. Come in. He stepped inside but said nothing. His silence screamed apologies he couldn't speak. I looked at him and whispered, You don't have to call me that, Ryan. He blinked. What should I call you? I hesitated. Just Ethan. He nodded slowly, eyes glassy. Thank you. When he left, I sat alone, staring at the word sir on the meeting notes. And for the first time, It didn't feel like victory. It felt like loss. I was reviewing quarterly reports when someone knocked on my door. "Come in," I said. Not looking up, Ryan entered, pale and shaking. "Ethan, I need to talk," I sighed. "Make it quick. We have the investor meeting soon." He shut the door behind him. "Please, just listen for a minute." I looked at him, the same brother who once laughed with me over midnight pizza, now trembling like a stranger. "Go ahead." He swallowed hard. "Emma didn't marry me because she loved me." My pen froze midair. "What are you saying?" "She thought you were never coming back," he said quickly. "After you disappeared, she broke down. I was there. I took advantage of that. She didn't choose me out of love, Ethan. She chose me out of fear and confusion." I clenched my jaw. "And now you want forgiveness?" He shook his head. "No, I can't keep living like this. She cries every night. She still talks about you." My chest tightened, but I forced myself to stay calm. "You should have thought about that 3 years ago." "I know," he said, voice breaking. "I destroyed everything good we had. You were the better man. You always were." I stood up, walked to the window. "Don't say that like it changes anything. You made your bed, Ryan." "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I just wanted you to know the truth." "Truth?" I turned to him. "The truth is you betrayed me and she followed you." "That's all that matters," he lowered his eyes. "I'll resign if you want." I shook my head. "No, you'll stay. You'll work. You'll face it every day, not because I want you to suffer, but because I want you to grow up." He looked stunned. "You're not angry?" "I was," I said quietly. "For years. But I'm done letting hate own me." Ryan nodded slowly, tears filling his eyes. "You've changed." "Yeah," I said. "Pain does that." He left without another word. The office felt heavier, but strangely lighter inside me. Minutes later, a soft knock came again. Emma stepped in, eyes red. "I heard Ryan came to see you," she said. "I just wanted to say—" "Don't," I interrupted. "You made your choice." I made mine, her lip trembled. "Do you really hate me that much?" I looked at her one last time. "No," I said. "I just don't love you anymore." When she left, I finally breathed freely. Not as the man they broke, but as the man who no longer needed revenge to feel whole. I sat in my office, reviewing performance reports when Sophia knocked. "Ethan, Ryan's numbers, they're slipping." "Again," she said, frowning. I didn't look up. And he admitted he fudged some of the client reports," she added softly. I leaned back. "I see." She hesitated. "You're not angry?" "I'm done being angry," I said. "Let him face reality." She blinked. "You mean you'll fire him?" "I'll let him fire himself," I said quietly. "The truth has a way of catching up." 2 weeks later, Ryan sat across from me, face pale. "Sir Ethan," he said, stumbling over my name again. I know the reports were wrong. I can fix it." "You can try," I replied evenly, "or you can accept the consequences." He swallowed hard. Please, I need this job." "You're welcome to stay," I said calmly. "If you're honest from now on. One more slip, and it's over." He nodded desperately, leaving with that fragile hope I knew wouldn't last. Meanwhile, Emma avoided eye contact in meetings, trembling slightly every time she spoke. "Sophia, she looks exhausted," I said one morning. "She's scared of Ryan's reactions," Sophia said. "And of you." I shook my head. "I haven't threatened anyone. She just feels guilty." The weeks passed. Ryan mismanaged projects. Clients complained. His arrogance couldn't mask incompetence. "Sir," he stammered during a team call, I thought we could secure the contract." "It's lost," I said softly. "You misrepresented the deliverables. That's on you." He paled. I can fix it." "You can try," I repeated, "or you can watch it collapse." By the end of the month, he handed in his resignation. I can't handle this," he whispered. Emma watched him spiral, helpless, but I said nothing. Karma was unfolding without interference. She lingered in the office later, voice trembling. "Ethan, I didn't know it would come to this." "You didn't listen when you had the chance," I said calmly. "Life has a way of teaching lessons." She looked down. I lost everything, didn't I? You lost yourself long before you lost your job, I said. They destroyed themselves long before I had to. Her lip quivered. Save it, I said. I'm at peace. You should find your own way. She nodded, tears sliding silently down her cheeks, then left. The office felt quiet after that. Ryan gone, Emma gone, but not because of my hand. They faced the truth of their choices and crumbled under it. I leaned back in my chair, staring at the skyline. No satisfaction, no triumph. Only a quiet peace settled over me. They had been given chances. They had ignored them. And I only watched. For the first time in years, I felt free. I stood by the floor-to-ceiling window, staring at the city below. The lights twinkled like promises I'd earned and scars I'd survived. Sophia appeared behind me. You're quiet today. I didn't turn. I'm thinking. She leaned against the wall. About them? No, I said softly. About me. She tilted her head. And what do you see? I see a man who fought for himself and lost some pieces along the way. She smiled faintly. Healing isn't about forgetting, Ethan. It's about forgiving yourself. I laughed quietly, bitter and relieved. Forgive myself for what? For surviving, she said. For staying strong when everyone else tried to break you. I looked at her, studying her calm eyes. You make it sound easy. It's not, she admitted. But you're learning it. You survived betrayal, humiliation, loss, and still built this. I exhaled, the tension in my shoulders easing slightly. It's strange. I thought revenge would fill the void. It didn't. It only showed me how strong I already was. She nodded. Then maybe the price of peace isn't revenge at all. I smiled faintly. Maybe. Later, I drove to the cemetery. The gravel crunched under the tires as I parked. I walked slowly, each step heavy but necessary. My parents' graves came into view. I knelt beside them, brushing my hand over the cold stone. I thought you'd see me like this, I whispered. The boy who lost everything, now standing trying to do right. A gust of wind carried leaves past me. I promised to live with dignity, not hate. I promised to forgive myself for letting life hurt me and to honor what you gave me. I stood, looking at their names. A strange calm settled in my chest. For years, I had carried anger, betrayal, and grief like armor. Now, I felt lighter. Sophia was waiting by the car when I returned. Feeling better? She asked. Better, I said, smiling. Still a long road, but I can walk it without carrying their weight anymore. She nodded. That's what freedom feels like. The drive back was quiet. No phone calls, no reminders of the past. Just the hum of the engine and the steady rhythm of my own heartbeat. Back at the office, I returned to the window. The city still sparkled, alive with dreams and ambitions. I thought revenge would heal me, I whispered aloud, as if letting the words go would set them free. But all it did was show me how strong I already was. Sophia's presence behind me was a quiet reassurance. No applause, no recognition, just understanding. I turned away from the window for the first time in months, and I walked forward, past the memories, past the betrayal, past the pain, finally free. I left the office, the city lights fading behind me, carrying nothing but lessons and a heart ready to live, not linger.